half full or half empty? The economy's glass of expectations heading into 2023's second quarter? And is the glass being spiked with miserabilism? Joseph W. Brady responds.
Well, Terry, I think that there for a while, a week ago, the only thing that we saw in the newspaper, and every paper, I don't care what paper that you got, I get the Daily Press or the Sun or the LA Times, and all we saw was Trump, Trump, Trump. Trump getting indicted. I mean, no one was talking about the Saudis, cutting our knees out from underneath us and then taking a million barrels a day, which I blame our president on just bad energy policy. The Fed has to ratchet up interest rates. We believe probably 2 more times. They're not going to be as big, but it's still the psychological. So when I get my bank statement from Citizens where I have my line of credit, and I'm a preferred customer, I think today if I were to borrow, I'm borrowing at like 9.25%, which is crazy. So you just don't, you don't borrow. But a month ago, Alan Matkins, a premier law firm down in Southern California with multiple offices throughout the state, had an invitation-only breakfast down in Irvine that I attended. And besides talking about all the new laws that were being enacted, they had Chris Thornburg. So Chris Thornburg was involved with UCR with their economic forecasts. He's been involved with UCLA. He's a pretty well-known economist, and he started out his presentation, and I thought it was rather interesting because, is the glass half full or half empty? And what he came out with was he was talking about really dwelling on the fact that the media wants us to think that we're in a recession, okay? They keep telling us that we're going to go into a recession. If you talk to 10 different people in the financial markets, your mortgage banker, your banker, anybody that deals in money, they're going to give you, I think, like 10 different opinions. But what he came back with, and he showed us, he calls it miserabilism. So this is what one of his PowerPoints. I want to kind of put this up for our audience to see, are we being fed the truth or not the truth? And then in a prior PowerPoint where he talks about renters hit breaking point and sudden reversal for landlords. Jamie Dimon says J.P. Morgan is bracing itself for an economic hurricane. I think that some of these people that are out there self-prophesying are kind of hoping that we go and that we have a problem. Am I concerned? Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned for the high desert because we have 90,000 commuters a day that go up and down that hill. And we have a lot of people that live in Aspria, Victorville, Adelanto, Apple Valley. They go out to Fort Irwin and Barstow and those kind of places. And when you're filling up your gas tank and it's $4.75 and it's going to go to $5.25, absolutely rest assured this summer. And the fact that the state of California has shut down as many refineries as we have, and we're having to import as much oil into our state as we do, we got a problem. So we know that interest rates are going to stay up. You talk to the people in the mortgage business. I just had lunch today with a mortgage lender and another friend of mine. He's got multiple deals going. I mean, so people are borrowing if they need to get into a house. They know that when rates go down, that they'll be able to refinance. Are the days of the 2% and 3% mortgages over? We're never going to see that again. That was really kind of a false economy. Is there a strong demand for housing up here right now? Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit over 825 homes for sale. So you've got Bobby Tarango and Michael Aris that monitor that report they put out. I just had the opportunity yesterday of doing a podcast with Brian Hurst. So Brian's with First Commercial. He's one of the top residential agents within the market. He does a weekly podcast, and we were talking about this exact thing. So are we in a recession? No. Are we talking ourselves into a recession? I think so. I think up here, outside of what happens nationally, so there's not much that we can do to control what the Fed does. There's not much that we can do to control what our president does with energy policy, monetary policies like that with the Fed. I still believe that with Brightline, and Brightline's got its application in. We just got an email from them today. I think Brightline is a real deal that hopefully will happen by, let's say, August. Hopefully they'll get their grant notification. They still believe that they could be under construction this year. They've come to an agreement with all the rail unions, all the different labor unions that are part of this, they've all come together. It's a united front. So that's really good. I think that really could help us on up here. The Burlington Northern Santa Fe, they continue to move forward. That's a real deal. I was at a presentation recently with the city of Barstow, with one of California's top developers, talking about the reality, and it was great to see that this developer had asked them to meet. So there is definitely some interest there. So I think that's going to kind of help us. I think that the psychological portion of what Dr. Thornburg was telling us is more. It's more of a psychological deal, and then you mix up all the political, issues out there that really have nothing to do with nothing. And I think it takes away from the great things that you have some people doing. I will tell you that we have noticed somewhat of a slowdown in inquiries. Industrial was just the hottest ticket around. We've kind of seen that kind of slow down. So when I talk to some of my SIOR friends down below, some of the top industrial brokers, some of the developers are kind of just taking a breath. They're kind of, this is just that time that they know that we would have in this cycle, that things had reached a peak. I mean, when you're paying $107 a foot for industrial ground, I mean that's per square foot in Ontario, California, $92 a square foot. That slows down. Now I just got a package within a half an hour of you coming on over today. Piece of property out in Adelanto, in North Adelanto, going through the entitlement phase. They want $10.75 a foot for that property in the entitlement. And I can guarantee you that 3 years ago, if you had gone out there, you would not have paid more than 15 grand an acre. Okay, you just heard what I said. Go from 15 grand an acre to today they're asking $10.75 a foot. It's probably worth about $7 a foot, but we're now starting to see numbers go over that $5 a foot deal. Some players are kind of retrading their deals. Some are just kind of sitting and waiting, but I still think that the high desert's just got some incredible great opportunities. But I think that the Silicon Valley Bank issue, that's made people nervous. The First Republic Bank, that's made them nervous. But as I talked to two mortgage bankers today at lunch, they said the banks are in pretty good shape than they were before. So I wouldn't people watching this, I wouldn't look at all the negative. I would try to find the positive, and hopefully the gas deal will work itself out. People are going to have to vote in 2024 on do you want to continue to be dependent upon foreign countries, or do we want to get back to where we were exporting under the prior president, like him or not. I mean, I don't like his tweets, but I liked his monetary policies. I didn't like how he somewhat treated people, but I liked his monetary policies. We weren't paying this kind of money for gas, so we'll see.
We will see and hear Joseph W. Brady's proposal to meet head-on the Mojave River Valley infrastructure challenges on our next report. We hope you'll be watching. Thank you for being with us on this report.